All right, I'm on hole number 9 of the City of Light tournament. I'm in Monday's practice round of the rookie division. Let's go to Golf Clash Notebook, check it out. All right, we've been working this hole. My teammates and I have been working this hole all week. So the typical MO here is I'm not a fan of this side over here. I'm like the greenskeepers. This side over here, they've got to maintain this side, and nobody uses it. If you get out here, you're not coming around this way, so your only choice to get up there is to go through those trees. And while there are some holes in this game that hitting through the trees, you know, that's a shot. I'm not so keen on this. And what's really funny is most of the people that I see hit over here end up in the rough or end up in the sand, and don't even really get a serious shot to go through the trees with their wood. So for me, this side over here is an X out. I'm not, this side over here doesn't exist. Okay, none of this exists. This is all just a figment of your imagination. So that leaves us with the shot from over here. If you can get over to this side, anywhere over in here, and you're in the rough, if you've got an Amazon or a Nirvana, you can get on. On and two. Getting an eagle. Eagle. Go home. Okay. Limited shot at Albie. I mean, if you got an Albie, it would be pure luck. The goal here is to see if we could get out in this fairway. Now, if we can get out in this fairway, especially if we're up here in the front, now we have a shot coming in that gives you a pretty good look at Albie. So the question is, how the heck do we end up here on the fairway? So there are several ways that you can come at this. You can try and land up here and just with normal curl and side spin try and get over there. So what is that going to take? I don't think an extra mile's got enough curl to get you over there. And if you're doing max overpower with an extra mile with the distance, you may catch it, and you could actually hit, the way that this pad right here works is here's the pad and then it curls down at the front, and if you hit it on the downward spiral, the ball comes out flat and you're just scooting over to the other side. Or you can overshoot that and hit it really flat and it'll drive right down into the water. So I don't know that if you're trying to get over, just get over, that an extra mile is the right thing, an apocalypse. Even if you got a low level apocalypse where it doesn't have, it's not into the same power range as your extra mile, it has so much more curl that you can, what an extra mile's got, like 45, 47, something like that when it's at lower level, and an APOC 3 I think's got like 70, 72, somewhere in that neighborhood. So if you're trying to just land on the pad and get over to the other side and you want to end up in the fairway, you're going to have a much better shot at it with an apocalypse, even if it's a lower level apocalypse. If you're using a big topper, let's say you don't have an apocalypse, and even though I've been playing for 2.5 years since the game came out with this account, I just got an apocalypse here this year, like late spring, early summer, so I only have a level 2 apocalypse. If you don't have an apocalypse, then your next choice for club is going to be a big topper, because it's got more curl than an extra mile, but it's only got in the, I think in the 80 range. So you've got, depending on what its level is, it's going to have more curl than a extra mile, but it's going to have less curl than an apocalypse if you've got an apocalypse that's like level 4. But even there, it's going to be, the deal is with an extra mile, you're going to be farther out here in overpower, and with a big topper, you're going to be closer in. So if you're trying just a straight up shot getting over, if you don't mind hitting from the rough to get on with your Nirvana or Amazon to get your eagle and go home, an extra mile is probably the club for you. If you really want to try and land out in this fairway to give yourself a shot, then you may have to mix it up a little bit, and a big topper might be an answer to that. We're exploring the max overpower hook shot. So with my extra mile and a kingmaker, so that I can get all the side spin I can, and the side spin is almost more important than the top spin. here's the sand, here's the second cut of rough, here's the first cut of rough, here's the fairway. So I'm about in this second cut of rough, I'm setting up my white ring so that it's right in the middle of that, like that. And then I'm adjusting out the wind and doing the max overpower hook. Now what I found with an extra mile and a 3-power ball is that if I caught it right, I'm getting so close down here to the end that I can get that flat trajectory, and I take the risk of getting into the water or overshooting it completely, hitting this rough and then getting into the water. But if I change that to a katana instead of a kingmaker, that pulled my red line back, and so I'm hitting more up here on the flat. You know, I do lose a little bit of distance on the other side, but I do have a better shot of trying to keep myself in the fairway here. But I still don't know with an extra mile if we can get the ball, if we can, because if you come over, you know, if you start up here on it, then you're going to be hitting over here on the flat, and that's not good. So it's one of those things you're going to have to kind of practice with your clubs, and this is a risky shot. You know, you're on hole number 9, you've had a really good round, and you come out here and you're doing a max overpower hook shot. And sometimes when you're doing a max overpower hook shot, if you end up blowing it, you end up in a spot and it's no big deal. But here we have water, and this water right here can ruin us. So anything we do here, if we're doing max overpower, if we're doing a max overpower hook, is going to be risky. So if you're not comfortable with that, you know, trying the shot from out here and working which club you're going to bring and which ball you're going to bring. You want to bring a club that's got lots of curl. You want to bring a ball that's got lots of side spin. So this may be either a combination of the Apocalypse and a katana, or Apocalypse and a kingmaker, just depending on how you're hitting it to try and keep it out into this area. I'm going to try this with a big topper and a kingmaker, because with the big topper it's got less distance than the extra mile, so I'm not in concern about hitting off the end. Now it's a concern about how far do I need to go out so that I can still hit on this and end up on this fairway and not come over here. So with the big topper and a kingmaker, I'm actually having to move the ball out. Same thing, if you're using an Apocalypse, you're going to have to move the ball out. So if you're here with an extra mile and a kingmaker, or even an extra mile and a katana, and you're using an Apocalypse, well heck, you got 30 more curl. You know, if you try the same shot from that same area, you're going to end up over here. So you're going to have to move the ball to the left in order to clear so that you land on the fairway. And I'm not sure how far out you'll have to move it. You may have to move it out to the transition between the water and the sand, or somewhere in that sandy area. I'm going to take my big topper and I'm going to start my transitional line. We're going to dial this in like artillery. I'm going to start off right on that transitional mark between the water and the sand. But maximum curl, maximum side spin, as much top spin as I'm going to put on. And I take that back. I'm not putting on maximum side spin. I'm putting on about 4.5 to 5 side spin. And however much top spin I can get once I put on the 4.5 to 5 side spin. And I'm going to start off right at that transition between the water and the sand, and then take out the wind and then try that shot from there. So that's the shot that I'm going to, and this is our original starting spot. And then we're going to really be critical of where we hit and where we land to try and dial that in. And I want to see how this shot works. And we've had some pretty good success with this in the practice round, where we were way up there, 420 yards in the fairway. Make sure I've got good clubs for the secondary. I'm going to bring a kingmaker. And I'm bringing a kingmaker only because there's no 4 side spin balls. And it wouldn't matter if I had a 4 side spin ball, because I'm not using all the side spin that's on there. You could bring because you're not being able to engage all of the side spin. You really could bring a Titan on this. I mean, I don't. You're not able to engage all of the side span. We need 4.5. Let's try it with a Titan. See if we can save some cheddar. And I got tons of Titans. As long as we can get 4.5 to 5 side spin, and I'm not sure how much side spin you can get on a Titan. If that doesn't look good, then I'll switch over. I'll switch back to a Kingmaker. Here we go. Hole number 9. I've had a lot of luck on this hole. I've had good success on this hole. I mean, it's not a high Albie hole. It's not one of those. But if we can work this shot to figure out how to get into this fairway over here on the other side consistently and get up here in the front, then that changes. Because if you're in the fairway up here and you've got that shot coming into the green where you're far enough up where you can clear these trees and not have to use any curl, this might become a pretty good Albie hole. See how my opponent does. And nice. Let's see how much side spin we got here. We got just enough. Just enough. Trying to get all the top spin I can possibly get on that. Okay, we're in this area here. I'm going to be right on that transition between the sand and the water. I'm going to take the wind out. That's about a 2-ring pull. A little shy. And I caught all of that. Let's see where the landing area is. See how close I am down there. And I'm going to have to come out just a little bit further. That looked really close. And I had plenty of room. So I'm actually going to come out. I'm going to go off the water. Probably half a ring. One of my teammates, Mike, he's been working the shot off the water. So he's been off the water about a ring. And the deal is, depending on your clubs, you're going to have to come out and you're going to have to find that zone. You're going to have to find that landing zone. I'm not super concerned about those trees, but we'll roll down that hill. So the question is, do I have enough distance there? Okay, 4, 5. It's about 4.5 rings. And I don't care about that. The wind's going to push me back out. Hitting it perfect. Pretty decent look at it there if you're in the fairway. And the goal here is that in the past I've come here and I didn't really care if I hit out in the rough. You hit out in the rough, you use an extra mile on a Titan, the landing zone was pretty given. You could get out there. The one thing I did have problems with my extra mile is sometimes I caught it just a little bit too good and ended up overshooting on that pad and ended up in the rough on the other side, but was a little short, so then you had to work a little bit harder to get up there with your rough iron. And the rough iron that you're going to have to bring is you're either going to have to bring an Amazon or you're going to have a Nirvana. You're not going to get this done with a razor if you're in the rough over there. I'm going to forfeit. All right. That was hole number 9. Maybe that's enough. Any good luck in the tournament? Hopefully some of these people will come up here and play today and knock me out. because I'm going to be really, really, really ticked off if I qualify with a 6. As bad, and what's funny is that I a 0 0 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, and I still shot a 6. So this hole right here is going to be a hole that you're going to have to work on this with your clubs, and you're going to have to be willing to practice a little bit with some upper level stuff to see what you like. Now, the safe shot here, to be honest, the safe shot is to go right into the center of this fairway. You can use your extra mile, apocalypse, whatever, and try and get over to the other side. And if you can end up in the fairway here, fine. But you can see where I ended up in the fairway back here. You've got to contend with those trees, so you've got to be able to work yourself around the trees. Ideally, if you want to end up in the fairway here, you want to be way up here in the front. And this area up here in the front is about 420 yards. So if you're anywhere up here past 400, you probably got a pretty good shot coming into the green where you can finesse it, because you're going to have to engage this hill. And so you can start off a little bit further to the left, and the ball's going to drop back down to the right. So the safe play is to probably land in the fairway here and try and get over, but I don't think you're going to be able to land in this fairway with an extra mile. You know, if you look at the angles here, you know, with an extra mile, if you're hitting into the center of that fairway area, you're coming out here, and from that point right there, you need to cover this angle. You're not going to get that done with an extra mile. You're going to be right dead center in the middle, and when you see everybody hitting with their extra mile, they're ending up right out here. So an extra mile, let's say you had an upper level extra mile, and it's got somewhere in the 40 to 47, I think, is its curl, versus an apocalypse that's, let's go look at the apocalypse real quick. I think the apocalypse is like 70, 90. Let's go look at clubs. This is a hole that I think if we can figure out a way to consistently get on the fairway on the other side, especially if we're way up there, we could change this hole into a possible Albie. So if you've got a level 3 apocalypse, you got 92 curl. If you've got a maxed out extra mile or a level 7, you've got 47. So 47 versus 92 or even 76. Okay? 47, 76, 92. Okay? So if your shot there was you're going like this and you're trying to cover this angle, and with an extra mile with that 47, you're dead center in the middle in the rough almost every time. With a 92, you may be able to hit off of that pad with an apocalypse and be able to get over into the fairway without having to do the max overpower, just using the curl that the club has. You may still have to use some overpower to get your distance there, but if you have an apocalypse, this, especially if you got a level 3 or above, but even with a level 2, you're still 30, you're still 30 more than your extra mile. And your extra mile is getting about half of it done. So you've got a much better shot of eking yourself out into the fairway, even with a level 2 apocalypse, than you do with a level 7 or 8 extra mile. So this shot, as the week goes on, is definitely a shot to continue to work and explore. Have a shot in your bag that it's like, okay, this is the shot that I'm going to take. This is my safe shot. My safe shot on that hole is I'm going to, let's go back to the, my safe shot on here is I'm going to hit out into the center of this fairway, and I'm going to take my chances. And if I end up in the rough, I'm going to bring an Amazon or a Nirvana, and I'm going to go for it. That's my shot. I know I can do that shot. I know that I could come out here and hit in the center of this fairway and get my ball over here and end up in the rough and get on. I know I can do that. I know you can do that. So I'm not going to practice that shot. What I'm going to practice is the shot that gets me up here so that I have at least a look at albatross. Because most people that come to this hole are not going to have a look at albatross. They may get an albie, but it wasn't, you know how it works. It was, we've all gotten albies on holes where it was like, man, that was pure luck. But if you can work yourself up here into the fairway and you've got a serious shot at it, where you can start to dial that shot in, that is a real big goal. So have that shot in your bag that that, hey, this is the shot that I'm going to take. But if I can figure out how to do one of these other shots, then that may make me change. But it looks to me like with where I landed, and I'll go back and watch that, and the angle, our angles aren't very good, but with the big topper, I was hitting somewhere down in here. And that threw me off in this direction, and that was putting my transitional line right on the transition between the water and the sand. So if I come out a ring, it looked like I had plenty of room down here, but where my trajectory will give me is that trajectory is going to put me off in here so that I can get more roll and not clip this rough. So I'm going to come out one ring from it and then take out the wind and see where we're at. All right, that was hole number 9 of the Parc de Paris. That's the City of Light tournament in Monday's qualifying round of the rookie division. Thanks for watching.